Have you ever wondered why some people seem to master reality while others are completely dominated by it? What if true magic isn't something supernatural, but rather the mastery of invisible laws that govern everything? In this video, you're about to discover what Eliphas Levi revealed about the power of true magic and how it can completely transform your inner and outer life. Imagine Paris in the 19th century, a city vibrating with revolutions, scientific discoveries, and the rebirth of occult arts. While philosophers questioned God and scientists tried to dissect the soul, in the basements and ancient libraries, a silent flame was being reignited: esotericism. And within this scene emerged Alphonse Louis Constant, later known as Eliphas Levi. Son of a shoemaker and raised in the Catholic faith, Constant was sent to seminary to become a priest. There, he immersed himself in theological studies, but something didn't fit. He felt that divine truth was much bigger than the dogmas imposed on him. And so, little by little, he began studying forbidden texts. The Hebrew Kabbalah, the writings of Paracelsus, Cornelius Agrippa, and medieval grimoires. He discovered that behind the myths, there was a forgotten sacred science, a symbolic language capable of uniting faith, reason, and mystery. Magic is the mathematics of the spirit, the hidden alphabet of creation. This awakening was so intense that he renounced the priesthood, leaving the church not out of contempt for faith, but out of understanding that spirituality could not be imprisoned by dogma. He then adopted the initiatic name Eliphas Levi Zahed, which in archaic Hebrew represents a fusion of wisdom and spiritual power. His mission became clear: to restore the magical tradition in the West, and to show that true magic is not superstition, but a precise spiritual science operating within the hidden layers of reality. He used to say, "He who understands symbols speaks the language of angels." In cafes, esoteric bookstores, and discreet salons of Paris, Levi began gathering disciples: Masons, Rosicrucians, artists, and thinkers. While the world sought answers outside, Levi sought them within, in the unconscious, the symbol, the archetype, and the astral light. Through his works like Dogma and Ritual of High Magic and the History of Magic, he left a legacy that would influence generations of occultists, from Pappas Helena Blavatsky to Aleister Crowley, who considered Levi a previous incarnation of himself. According to Eliphas Levi, magic is not an isolated act, nor an accidental miracle. It's a precise spiritual science sustained by three fundamental forces. Three keys that, when united, open the doors of conscious creation. Will, the magician's scepter. Willpower is the invisible engine of magic. But careful, don't confuse it with desire. Desire is unstable, impulsive, emotional. Will is vertical, silent, unbreakable. It's the force that moves spiritual mountains. According to Levi, disciplined willpower is the greatest power a human being can develop. Will is the word of God within man. The true magician is the one who decides internally, and the universe obeys because he already obeyed his inner order. Imagination, the inner eye. Imagination, in Levi's words, is not fantasy. It's creative vision, the ability to see with the eyes of the spirit. Everything that exists was first imagined. In the occult plane, which Levi called the astral light, a subtle, intelligent substance that permeates the universe. Imagination is a molding tool. The magician imagines with clarity and intention, and the invisible begins to shape toward the visible. What we think with enough force, sooner or later, takes form. Imagination is the womb of magical creation. 3. Symbolic action, the conscious ritual. But will and imagination alone are not enough. They need a gesture, a sign, a symbol, something that activates reality like a hidden button. That's where symbolic action comes in. The conscious use of gestures, words, objects, and rituals. The pentagram, for example, is not just a drawing. It represents the mastery of spirit over the 4 elements. It's a universal symbol of balance and power. The tarot, for Levi, is a mystical, coded book whose study awakens the higher mind. Every symbol is a living equation between the visible and the invisible worlds. When the magician unites will, imagination, and symbol, he forms a magical triangle. And it is within this triangle that reality bends. These 3 pillars are not just concepts. They are practices. They are paths of self-mastery. Without them, magic becomes mere superstition. With them, a human stops being a victim of destiny and becomes a co-author of creation. Imagine 3 brothers, all born from the same mother, the search for truth. But over the centuries, separated by ignorance and human pride. According to Levi, religion is popular magic, science is discredited magic, and magic is religion and science elevated to their purest degree. These 3 brothers, religion, science, and magic, are not enemies. They're different aspects of the same flame. Religion was born from mystery. It was the first to attempt translating the invisible. Using myths, rituals, parables, temples, it connected crowds with the divine. But over time, it lost its essence and got trapped in form. When it forgot the symbol and embraced dogma, the sacred fire turned into institutional ash. Science arose from the thirst for answers. It questioned, tested, measured. It tore away the veils of superstition and revealed grand truths. But by rejecting the invisible, it became blind to spirit. It discredited magic without realizing that science itself is magic with formulas and proof. What is gravity, if not an invisible force that moves worlds? What is the atom, if not a dance of energies we can't see? True magic rejects neither faith nor reason. It transcends both and reconciles them. It is the religion of the wise and the science of the initiated. It sees the sacred within the atom and the logic within the symbol. But Levi warned, he who touches the secrets of the universe without ethics condemns himself. Because magic is a double-edged sword. Used with wisdom, it liberates. Used with ego, it imprisons. Whoever summons forces without a higher purpose becomes enslaved by their own mental creations, becomes a sorcerer lost in delusions of power, without center, without light, without soul. Religion, science, and magic, when united, reveal the totality of the human being, spirit, reason, and will. Separated, they create war. United, they generate illumination. And the true magician knows there's no separation between heaven and earth, between symbol and atom. All is sacred. We've now reached the heart of Eliphas Levi's teaching. After books, symbols, rituals, and words, there's something he reveals with brutal simplicity, and few are ready to accept. True magic is not changing the world out there. It's becoming someone who transforms the world just by existing. That is the key of the true magician. While many seek spells for love, money, or power, the true initiate understands all of that is just a reflection of the inner being. The universe doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to who you are. E is the mastered will, the mind clear as crystal, the heart inflamed by a higher purpose, and the body as a temple of spirit. The disciplined mind is the real magic wand. There's no ritual more powerful than self-mastery, no spell more effective than the harmony between thought, word, and action. When the magician reaches this integration, his very presence alters fields, influences consciousness, shapes possibilities. He doesn't command by force, but by the magnetism of someone who becomes one with the will of the whole. That's the secret Levi whispers to us through the veils. True alchemy doesn't turn lead into gold, but ego into soul, fear into consciousness, noise into creative silence. And when that happens, magic stops being a practice and becomes a state of being. To be magical is not to do, it's to embody, it's to vibrate, it's to be. And then the universe has no choice. It bows and responds. Now that you've walked through the silent halls of occult knowledge, now that you've touched, even lightly, the true definition of magic, I ask you a simple and dangerous question. Are you just seeking power, or are you willing to become worthy of it? Because magic without ethics is illusion. Magic without self-mastery is chaos. And magic without consciousness is slavery. But if this question stirred something inside you, if your heart beat differently, if your mind expanded with something nameless, then maybe, just maybe, the inner magician within you is awakening. And if that's the case, don't ignore this calling. Subscribe to the channel Architects of the Cosmos. Here, every video is a flame, reigniting ancient memories, every word a key, every symbol a door. And tell me in the comments what symbol, teaching, or magical practice fascinates you the most. The pentagram? The tarot? The Kabbalah? The astral light? The conversation continues down below. And who knows, maybe you'll inspire another silent seeker. See you in the next deep dive. Until next time, architects.